What if I told you there was a fast way to get from Germany to France that doesn't involve any planes? Starting from Germany's fifth largest city of Frankfurt, we'll take a fast 320 km/h ICE train through to France and on to Paris, which takes us just under 4 hours to complete the journey from city centre to city centre. We'll cruise through Germany and speed along the French countryside on this beautiful summer high-speed journey. Now sit back and enjoy the ride. Welcome to Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof, or Frankfurt's main station, the main station serving Germany's fifth largest city. The station here in Frankfurt has been open since 1888, proudly standing in the heart of the city, though previous plans for the station would have seen it being located outside of the city centre, with 10 additional platforms compared to the 24 it has now. Deutsche Bahn categorised this station as one of the most important in Germany, owing to its rather central location and intense usage as a transport hub for long and short distance journeys. Despite this, the station is the second busiest in Germany, losing out on the title of the busiest to Hamburg's main station, while still seeing an impressive 164.3 million passengers a year. Frankfurt may not be the largest city in Germany, but its importance as the country's financial capital means it has plenty of national and international transport links. The station here is a dead end, meaning excluding the S-Bahn, any train travelling beyond here as part of its journey will need to reverse out of the station. Our train, however, begins its journey here as ICE 9568 to Paris Est on platform 24. Deutsche Bahn runs roughly 6 trains per day between Frankfurt and Paris, in cooperation with SNCF. Services to Paris are also provided from Stuttgart and Munich, using a mixture of TGV Duplex and ICE 3 Velaro D stock, with ours being the latter today. These trains were built by Siemens between 2009 and 2012, having been used on Germany to France services since 2015, replacing the older and unreliable ICE 3M trains on these services, which I have already reviewed on the channel. These trains may also look a bit familiar, right? Yep, that's correct. Being the newer Velaro design, they're similar in appearance to Eurostar's newer E320 trains used on international services from London to Europe. These trains were specifically designed for Deutsche Bahn's intended services from London to Brussels, Amsterdam, Cologne and Frankfurt. An ICE 3MF was even brought to London St Pancras for a press event for these new services in October 2010, though various factors, ranging from passport control issues to failure to license the Velaro Ds in Belgium, sadly shelved the plans. I'm optimistic though that Deutsche Bahn will hopefully revive plans for the service in the future. Pulling up next to the train is the brand new ICE 3 Neo, the successor to the Velaro D, which will be used on ICE international services to Belgium and the Netherlands from June 2024. As for our train, this is formed of 16 coaches today, or 2 8-car sets coupled together. The service ICE 9568 is one of the ICE Sprinter services, which are branded so by Deutsche Bahn to highlight the faster express services, and I'll be in first class for this morning's trip down to Paris. First class is in a 2x1 configuration and is well catered for solo travellers such as myself, with plenty of solo seats like this one. Our route to Paris has 2 intermediate stops in Germany, at Mannheim and Karlsruhe. After crossing the border into France, we have one last stop at Strasbourg before blasting along the LGV Est at 320 km/h to eventually reach Paris's Gare de l'Est at 10:40 AM Central European Time, taking under 4 hours to cover the 599 km journey this morning. We depart Frankfurt on time at 6:56 AM Central European Time. As we leave Frankfurt, do take note of several things. The first being the 22-metre high signal box tower completed in 1957, which at the time was the largest and most modern in Europe, and the other is the crossing of the River Main as we leave the city, which is where Frankfurt got its name from. Whilst the majority of our journey today is on high speed lines, we'll need to traverse the lower speed Mannheim to Frankfurt railway for the first leg of the trip. Many lines used by the ICE across Germany are upgraded conventional lines, with speeds of between 200 to 230 km per hour, with this line being 200. The line is one of the busiest in Germany, with over 900 trains a day, both for freight and passenger traffic, making it a major bottleneck. To resolve this, a new 300 km per hour line is currently being planned between Frankfurt and Mannheim for use by ICE trains, with a dual role of eventually connecting the Cologne to Frankfurt and Mannheim to Stuttgart high-speed lines. Now let's divert our attention to the interior. I personally find the seats to be among the most comfortable I've tried on a high-speed train. They're well padded with plush headrests and great ergonomic design. At the side, you'll find a foldable armrest with a standard 220V power socket located just below the window side one. Legroom is of course excellent, with a footrest available too, and though I'm not normally a fan of these, the roomy interior certainly made this more tolerable. There is also a recline at the bottom of the seat, which to operate you pull down the lever and slide your body forwards and backwards to adjust as you wish. A personal litter bin is found at the base of the seat in front, just below the reasonably sized tray table and storage net, the latter containing the onboard menu, which you can order food to your seat from, but we'll be checking out the dining car ourselves later on. Just above is a touch sensor operated reading light, just below the overhead luggage racks, which, while smaller than the full-size ones located throughout the train, are still decent for bag storage. Below the overheads you'll also find coat hangers, which are also included on the seats, and finally, the draw-down blinds are useful for reducing the harsh sunlight on this surprisingly warm summer's morning. Overall, the interior is a solid design despite being outdated against the newer model ICEs. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Our first stop of Mannheim is reached over 40 minutes later, the second largest city in the Baden-Württemberg region after Stuttgart and the 21st largest in Germany as a whole. Seen in the platform is one of Deutsche Bahn's newer ICE 4 sets, which will of course be coming soon to the channel in due course. Before long, we speed along our first high-speed line of the day, the Mannheim to Stuttgart high-speed line, which we take before rejoining the conventional line to continue to Karlsruhe. Here, the service maximum speed is 250 km per hour, so just a bit less than what we'll be reaching later on. On the Velaro Ds, first class makes up 2.5 carriages on board, the last half containing the Bordrestaurant, which I'll come back to later just before we cross into France. Standard class is in the remaining 5 coaches of the train, which is in a 2x2 configuration with a mixture of airline and table seats, and even includes a section for families in common with other ICEs, albeit not in a compartment. As we approach Karlsruhe, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this weekly. Plenty more incredible journeys like this are still to come to the channel in 2024, which I of course want you to join me for. Thanks! Karlsruhe Hbf is a German station I still need to visit properly. However, this was my first time here and I was very impressed, especially at how the city's tram train cools here and fits in surprisingly well amongst the busy traffic of premium ICE trains. This also marks our last stop in Germany before we cross into France, so needless to say this will be the final sighting of Deutsche Bahn trains on this trip. Well, excluding seeing this one off in Paris, of course. You'll find toilets in most carriages on board the Velaro D. The majority are standard toilets, while one is an accessible one designed specifically for those with reduced mobility. As is the case with the other ICEs I've ridden, the toilet is impeccably clean, and whilst it is the first service of the day, you would certainly expect worse given how busy the train is. You'll also find amenities such as baby changing ramps and a coat hook. Everything works as it should too, so that's a thumbs up from me. On my way back, I stopped by the Bordrestaurant. It's a great place to relax and what really sets out the ICE from other high-speed trains in Europe. This really makes it a more civilised way to travel. I bought a few snacks as I already had breakfast earlier this morning before boarding. To see the full menu and prices, you can check them out using the menu I've linked in the description below. Our last moments in Germany are mostly spent cruising at 250 km per hour on the Karlsruhe to Basel high-speed line, which is the result of progressive upgrades to the conventional line since the late 1980s, including doubling of the track for high-speed traffic. Further sections are planned to be upgraded, with an expected completion date in the early 2040s. We, however, will only be taking the line for a small portion, diverging towards the line to the French border at Baden-Baden, and before long we cross the Rhine Bridge over the River Rhine, which on the other side officially marks our entry into France. Our first stop in France and last stop before Paris is Strasbourg, the largest city in the Grand Est region and the 8th largest in the country as a whole. Most of the journey to the French capital distance-wise is actually done in France, the last hour and 50 minutes and 400 kilometers being done on the LGV Est, where the train really shows what it's capable of. The stop at Strasbourg allows us to join the LGV Est at the beginning at Mannheim, via a few miles down the line, which the Germany to France services via Saarbrücken do, which is one reason this particular Frankfurt to Paris service is marked as an ICE sprinter train, playing a key part in shaving around 15 minutes on the journey time between the two cities. Now we're preparing to diverge from the conventional lines and enter the high-speed line, which is the real highlight of taking this train. The LGV Est was opened in two phases, the first phase in June 2007 and the second in July 2016. At an average speed of 279.3 km per hour, it's the second fastest operational railway line in the world, and was previously the fastest until China's Wuhan to Guangzhou high-speed line opened in 2009. Ironically, the only time a German high-speed train reaches its maximum design speed is in France, which is something that still amuses me to this day. Whilst the line itself is designed for 350 km per hour operation, the maximum permitted service speed is 320 km per hour, which is the maximum design speed of the Siemens Velaro family, including our Velaro D train. This was also France's first high-speed line, not only to achieve 320 km per hour running, but also to be equipped with ICE trains. The stars aligned pretty well the entire weekend. There was a massive heatwave in Europe when I did this journey, so the French countryside can be truly appreciated as we speed along the line on this gorgeous summer's morning. As I previously mentioned, the line was built in two phases. We're currently on the second phase of the line, which is linked to the first phase through the 2.5 mile long Saverne Tunnel, which allows high-speed trains like ours to speed through the narrowest part of the Vosges mountain range and join the remainder of the route to Paris. The first phase of the line is where a TGV duplex train numbered 4402 broke the world speed record for a steel-wheeled commercial train, during a series of operational trials by SNCF and Alstom branded Operation V150. The record was actually broken on the section of track we're on now, between Meuse and Champagne-Ardenne TGV stations, on 15th of April 2007, and since then, Train 4402 ran as a TGV POS set both domestically in France and on TGV Lyria services to Switzerland, and was recently reformed as a TGV P duplex and renumbered as 723, proudly displaying the feat it achieved over 17 years ago. We then passed Champagne-Ardenne TGV itself mere moments later, which not only has a shuttle service to the city of Reims it provides a high-speed service to, it's also a brilliant place for seeing trains reach 320 km per hour heading to and from Paris, like this. We're now exiting the high-speed line and entering the Parisian suburbs, meaning our journey today is coming to a close. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time on the train, The Velaro Ds are a solid product and really make travelling from Germany to France a fantastic experience, especially at 320 km per hour. I booked this service around a month or so in advance on the Deutsche Bahn website and secured a bargain first class fare of €49.90, which is exceptional value for money for a journey of almost 4 hours in first class, city centre to city centre between two major European countries. It's just a shame there's only 6 trains per day between Frankfurt and Paris though. Regardless, this is definitely a journey I 100% recommend doing, especially with the enhanced comfort of the ICE over a TGV. Now, those of you familiar with German railways will know that punctuality isn't their strong point. Well, you'll be even more surprised to hear that the train arrives into Paris's Gare de l'Est a whole 2 minutes early, having kept a time for the entire trip. Now you've heard from me, I want to hear from you. Have you taken the Deutsche Bahn and SNCF joint service between Germany and France? How was your experience and what route did you do? Will you consider giving this a go if you haven't done it yet? Let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video and don't forget to like and share it to aid the channel's growth, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content such as this weekly. Okay, now for the short walk to Gare du Nord to transit for my Eurostar home. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip, and I look forward to bringing you with me on my next one.